Hello and welcome to this video. I'm going to show you how to use a cycle in for and how to use basic print function. First, I'm gonna type on some program. I'm gonna define a variable x is equal to, gonna define it in this case as an m as a space only, and then I'm going to assign the value to y. That's going to be an O. You can do whatever you want. Right now, what I'm going to do is to show how you can get this little O to move from one point to another within this with the print function. Let me show you how this works. For a in range, which range I'm gonna type in 10, then I use a colon. This colon is very important because it's going to define which actions, which statements are within the body of my for cycle. Here I'm going to type in print, open parenthesis, a times x comma y. And I'm gonna enter once again. If you see, right now I'm not going to use any other indentation because the next part is not going to be within the same for range. Let me go ahead and save this here in my documents. I type it as moving O, moving.O, moving.py. Easier. Right now I have here my sequence, but if you know already how to use it, then it's gonna be easier for you. Right now I'm going to access what will be my files in a certain location. I saved it in my documents, so it's in this. I used the CD zip drive to change the drive to see my disk users, my username and documents. Here I'm gonna type Python. I already set up this path, space moving.py, and this is what it's going to make. The O starts in here in point 0. So what I'm doing here is for a in a certain range, it's telling me that a is going to change the value by itself. It goes from 0 to 10. That's the range I set in here. But what's the situation? It's not going to go all the way to 10. It's going to be one number less. It's going to stay in 9. So if I wanted to type in, if I want a range to be, for example, I want from 10 to 20, then it's going to be, here you set the range. First number, it's 10, where I start, and I type in 20, that's 1. But I want till 20. If it gives you one account less, then I'm gonna change this to 21. So I'm gonna have here the 10 movements in the one that it's gonna be omitted. And if I want it, for example, in more numbers than 1 in the range, I can put here another comma, and this is going to be my argument. I can type in 2. This means that the range is going to be from 10 to 20 to 21 in this case, by the values of 2. So I save that in the program and I run it again, and you see how this moved. Right now I have 10. So in the first, the value a times space, it starts in 10, so I have 10 blank spaces. Then I have my y. This first y, it's going to be 10. Then I'm gonna have till 21. It's going on each 2 units. So it's 1 blank, 1 unit, 1 blank, 1 unit. and it's going to be this amount. It's going to be from the 10 to the 21. These are my 6 values, my original one, and the 5 intervals that got completed. Also, I can get the circle, or the O in this case, to go all the way back. For A in range, right now here it's different function. This one is a cycle for ascending. Now I'm gonna make it descending, and I'm gonna make it from, let's say, 15, comma, and here I want to get all the way to 2. Why not? And right now I'm gonna type in here the argument of how fast it's going to go backwards. I'm gonna set it here minus, because it's a subtraction. I'm gonna type in 3. I want it to go in 3 directions. Okay, want it to step back 3 spaces at a time. Here I just use the colon to find what's going to happen in this range. Type in here print, I open parenthesis, A times X, comma, Y. Okay, I save it again, and I'm going to run it. What happens here? It starts again, the first part. If you see, this and this are the same, correct? So the difference is for the second 4, it's going to be in here, not that way, here. It started at the 15. I got 15 spaces, and in the 16th place I have my value Y. It's gonna be the O. So this is the space number 16. And then I'm gonna go backwards all the way to 2. I'm going from 3 units at a time. So here, if you can measure it, this one is 1 value, this one, blank, and then this one's a line. That's the way this thing works. What's the difference in these two? Well, I have obviously the different values here, 10 and 15, 21 and 2. So if you start with a smaller number, and then you can type in how fast you want it to go and up to which number. If I only write here 10, like the first 10, then I'm not going to set up when it's going to stop as a range, but starting at a different point rather than 0. If I only type 10, it starts at 0 and then it goes all the way to there. Here I can manage when it's going to start and when it's going to end more precisely, and at which rate. And print, what's the function of print? Right now I have here combination of values. If you see, I have A, it's a number. I have here it's 10, and then it's 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So for each of those values, the A is going to multiply times X. That's a space. Right now, you remember I typed here a space? That means that's these spaces I have in here. But this means that I can make an operation of an integer with a string value and print the result, but it's going to just repeat that amount of times what's my string. Then the comma is so that I can print another thing. I need to use this to separate them, just to make sure that the function print knows that it has to print both this section and this section as well. And the Y, it's my O, so I don't have here any operation, so it's only going to type in the O. And I know that print needs, in Python 3, it needs this parenthesis. In the case of Python 2, it doesn't need a parenthesis, but right now we're working with this, so we need to add it. So we have here, I can print different things. For example, I can type in here print, I open parenthesis, I almost forget, and I can type here print Y, just because. So right now I run again the program, and if you see here is the difference. From here it ends, and then immediately afterwards, in here is a blank line. I have here again my O. I can have here, for example, let me get it. I'm gonna define z equal. No, I can have here regular value. I can have even float values. Float values will be something like this: 7.2. It's a number that has decimal. Yeah, it's okay. So if I have here print open parenthesis C. I save it and run it again, and I have here the first 4 range from 10 to 21. It's going up by 2, and here I have the 15 to 2 going down by 3, and then I have here my value of C. It's going to be 7.2, my float number. I can type in here C, comma, I can put here X as well. I can type in Y, my bad. I can type in here another time C, just to show you that you can combine values. So we have here 7.2. The comma is going to add by itself a space, so it's here a space. Then it's the space for my X, my O, another space for my other comma, and 7.2 again my Z. So I can print all values, strings. I can type floats. I can change this just to be 7. Save it. Run it again, and it's going to type now 7 instead of 7.2, and this type is a integer. So right now you see that you can print pretty much wherever you want. You just need to define it prior to doing this. So this will be everything for today, and I'll see you later.